100 million illegal weapons in Latin America. 100,000 people killed by firearms every year.
Weapons cause more deaths in our country than war.
This is the story of an arms smuggling route that starts in the USA.
It's just too easy to buy a gun here and take it across.
And ends up in the hands of powerful Mexican drug cartels.
They keep asking me for more. They want grenade launchers, horns. I'm being asked to do everything. Killing people, that's routine for us.
And of guerrillas who fight the state from remote jungles.
It is a political, social, and armed struggle. All of this was financed by weapons from North America.
This is the story of an illegal trade route that causes death.
In the first 18 years of this century, almost 2.5 million people have been murdered in Latin America. The vast majority of those murders were committed with firearms. And the majority of those firearms come from a single place, the United States. The American legislation, the American Constitution guarantee the right for the American citizens to purchase and carry guns freely. But some people are taking advantage of that right, buying the guns legally, and then selling them in the black market.
Our plunge into the illegal trafficking of weapons in this violence-battered continent starts in the south of the USA, the world's leading arms manufacturing country. And we do it through Ismael, a trafficker who's going to buy arms from one of the 8,000 gunsmith shops that are scattered around border states with Mexico.
Dígame, ¿usted ahora qué es lo que va a comprar?
I'm going to buy something there. A small horn for people.
¿Cuerno a qué le llaman ustedes?
It's an AK-47. That's it.
Curiously enough, the first step in this process of arms smuggling is a legal step.
¿Usted es ciudadano americano?
No, I am a resident.
Residente. ¿Y como residente, usted puede comprar armas?
Yes. I can buy weapons?
Legalmente.
Yes, because I'm in compliance with the law. You just need to have no prior record, and that's fine.
Explíqueme el proceso que sigue uno para comprar el arma. Va a la tienda y ¿qué pasa?
You go to a gun shop, you fill out a form, then you can look and buy whatever you want. Everything they have in the store.
Ismael, with a clean criminal record, takes us to one of the gun shops he goes to regularly. The only illegal thing about the purchase he's going to make is that the gun is not for himself, as the law requires, but for a third party. A few minutes later, Ismael walks out of the shop with his mission accomplished.
It's good.
O sea, usted ha entrado y le han dado esto.
Yes.
¿Cuánto ha pagado por esto?
$1,500.
1.500. Increíble. sea, uno entra en la tienda y se sale con esto. Y todo legal.
That's it.
Ismael now must take the gun to Mexico to put it in the hands of his clients. But before crossing the border, he asks us to stop at a hotel a few miles away from Mexico. The illegal part of the operation starts now. Mexican law doesn't allow for the trafficking and free possession of firearms.
Turn on the TV. Yes, you never know.
Para que no se oiga el ruido.
That's it.
His strategy to smuggle the gun consists of dismantling it and hiding it around his body.
¿Por qué esconderlas en su propio cuerpo y por qué no esconderlas en el carro?
They're gonna search the car, that's all.
Y la tenía encima.
So,
The rifle Ismael was hiding is not the only gun he'll try to smuggle into Mexico. He's going to take advantage of the trip to smuggle in as many arms as he can.
¿Ha pasado así antes la frontera con este tipo de escondite?
yes, but it was less tense. How can I put it? I was calmer.
Claro, la presencia de las cámaras siempre altera, ¿no?
It's clear.
Ismael seems to be more and more nervous as a result of our presence.
Parece increíble que usted lleve ahí
And yes. Can you stop filming?
Listo.
Ismael departs for the border in his vehicle. We follow him at a safe distance.
Bueno, pues ya lo han visto. Comprar las armas es fácil. Entras en la tienda, das tu nombre, mira que no tienes antecedentes y te llevas un fusil de guerra. Lo complicado llega ahora. El que lleva ese fusil escondido en el cuerpo y algunas otras armas tiene que pasar la frontera. Y ahí es cuando llega lo complicado.
We approach the border. We find no obstacle in leaving the USA.
Creo que eso era el último control de Estados Unidos.
The danger starts now, at the Mexican border checkpoint.
México.
A routine inspection, or one caused by any sign of nervousness, could have serious consequences for Ismael. Under Mexican law, just for the rifle he's carrying, he could spend the next 7 years in jail.
Ahí es el momento crucial. Si te paran, está jodido. Ya está. Las armas están en México, señores.
A few yards down the road, after crossing the border, the trafficker's car unexpectedly accelerates, and we lose sight of it.
Sí. Okay, voy para allá.
Someone from the traffickers' network informs us that the presence of several police roadblocks has forced Ismael to leave the scheduled route. To avoid calling the attention of the police, they ask us to stop recording and to wait at a nearby gas station. Someone will come to pick us up there to take us to the place where the arms are brought. The traffickers take us to what they call a safe house, where they stock the arms that are brought from the USA. Shortly afterwards, Ismael arrives.
A 9mm caliber, chargers.
The trafficking gang leader checks that his order is in perfect condition.
That's perfect. Take off your pants. Lift your shirt.
The mission of this trafficker: to stockpile arms to send them to his client, the Sinaloa Cartel.
It's good.
Estas armas, ¿qué destino tienen?
They are leaving for Culiacan. We send them there. Yes, I receive them and I send them. I'll take care of it.
Y armas como estas, ustedes reciben de Estados Unidos, ¿cuántas a la semana más o menos?
Per week, I would say around 200 or 300.
A la semana.
Yes, weekly.
Estamos hablando de 800 armas al mes.
That's it.
Son como 10.000 armas al año.
On average, yes.
¿Cuánta gente tiene trabajando con usted?
I have 30 or 40 people under my command.
¿Y grupos como el de usted hay muchos?
Yes, and there are bigger ones. I have 40 men, but some have 50 or 60.
¿Y el cartel necesita tantas armas?
They keep asking me for more. They want grenades. Grenade launchers, horns. They'd ask me for everything.
All sorts of weapons and true armies of people working to supply arms to the Sinaloa Cartel. We return to the USA in order to try to understand why it's so easy for traffickers to stock up on weapons there. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution protects the right of citizens to possess and carry weapons. This right allows the arms industry to manufacture hundreds of thousands of guns for civilian use per year to satisfy the demand of the population.
This would be what? Sniper rifles or?
Well, you could call them sniper rifles, but most of these people that buy this gun will use them for long-range competition.
Mike Detty ran an arms sales business in Arizona for decades. Now he's just one more visitor to the many arms markets held around the country.
Mike, people that are not used to this kind of gun culture are going to look at this and say, This is crazy. Selling weapons in the open and everything. What kind of people are we gonna find here?
Well, you find just about every facet of American here. I mean, every profession, from a bus driver to a neurosurgeon. Quite a few people enjoy guns, and some people enjoy them because they want to own them for their historical value. Or then there's other people that want to use them for competition. And some people, the reason for them owning guns is primarily defense. Americans want to have the ability to protect themselves. We see it as our right. We see it guaranteed by our Constitution.
The constitutional right of Americans to carry weapons becomes an opportunity for criminal gangs. Mike Detty is fully aware of this. In 2006, Mike was part of a cover operation against Mexican cartels. For 3 years, he sold guns to drug traffickers to allow the government to track them and reach their ringleaders.
Mike, do you think there are people here trying to do straw purchases for the Mexican cartels, for somebody else, for the legal market?
Absolutely. I think in border states like Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, that it's just too easy to buy a gun here and take it across.
And how would you find out that somebody is trying to buy a gun for the cartel?
The red flags for me were multiple purchases of the same item. The other red flag for me was the age of the buyer, was usually people in their early 20s. And the third factor would be their knowledge of this gun. They couldn't tell me what they were going to use it for. It was obvious to me that somebody had sent them there with a laundry list of the types of guns that they wanted to buy. Now, these people were selected because they had clean records and could pass a background check.
So, if I want to buy this gun, what would be the procedure to it?
So, the dealer would give you a form to fill out, okay?
Okay.
Now, that form is called a government form 4473, and what it is a background check. So, you need to fill this out and put down your information. It'll include your name, your address, your driver's license number, and then a series of questions. Things like, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Are you purchasing this gun for yourself? Are you an illegal drug user?
So you get the form as a seller, and what do you do with it?
No, we hold that form. And the reason we don't turn those in, the reason that we don't give those forms to the government is we don't want the government having a record of what we bought. It's none of their business as free Americans.
So there's no such a thing as a database that is going to hold which person holds this gun or the other gun.
That's correct.
We travel to Western Virginia. The National Tracing Center is here, the only organization authorized by the government to trace firearms. Neil Trotman is in charge of this center, which is the closest to a record allowed by US law. A very peculiar record, though.
What is this?
So this is just out-of-business records that are just waiting their turn in the queue to be processed. An individual, when they purchase a firearm, they fill out Form 4473, which essentially contains all information about the gun that they purchased, and that is maintained by the dealer for as long as they're in business. When the dealer goes out of business, they submit those records to the National Tracing Center.
The forms only reach this National Tracing Center if the gun shops go out of business. Never before, because while they're open, they are responsible for keeping the information.
How many of these boxes do you get a day?
It all depends on the day, but I can tell you that on a monthly basis, we've been receiving over 2 million individual records.
Once the millions of forms are received in this center, the archiving work starts. And it is here in this process that we find the other peculiar feature of this record.
We do process those records here. The records are digitally scanned, but they're scanned in such a way that they're static images. It's essentially a catalog of photographs of the record. It's not putting them into any kind of a searchable database.
So once you get a request here, so you go photograph by photograph without being able to search in any sense? You have to go all the way?
That's correct. U.S. law prohibits the government from creating or maintaining any sort of a database of firearms ownership or firearms transactions.
So right now, you're not able to tell me how many weapons do you have in the States? You know, you cannot tell me how many owners do you have in the States?
No, that information we don't know. That information is not available.
Laws that allow one to possess weapons and that protect the anonymity of the buyers. Laws that, at the same time, are taken advantage of by arms traffickers for their illegal trafficking. We have seen how weapons bought legally at gunsmith shops in the USA are transported by car to the Mexican border by small-time dealers. There, the stock houses store this incessant inflow of weapons, and they get ready to send them to their destination, the Sinaloa Cartel. This trip is done using two means of transport: by car or through a faster means, by light aircraft, which only requires an intermediary refueling stop. We go with a group of traffickers who are going to cut off an unpaved road in order to set up a makeshift clandestine airstrip.
Get off. Park the car and get out.
A light aircraft carrying weapons is about to arrive. The mission of this group: to collect the weapons and store them until another light aircraft is ready to take them away.
Ahora van a cortar el paso ya. Ya estos coches ya no van a pasar, ¿no?
That's it.
El aterrizaje se hace aquí en esta misma.
Yes, on the road.
The operation must be carried out quickly. The light aircrafts don't fly at night, and the daylight leaves these men unprotected from the army and police patrols.
Received. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. They're idiots.
Suddenly, there seems to be something wrong.
That's fucked up. Turn off the camera. The camera.
They ask us to get out of the airstrip and hide under the trees.
Are they idiots? The idiots are coming. That is their helicopter. He's coming.
I don't know if you understood it, but apparently the helicopter of the army is flying over the area, and we have to hide because if they find us, we're screwed here.
At what altitude is it? Which way is he coming from?
The trafficking group trust they can be faster than the army helicopter, and they decide to go ahead with the operation. The light aircraft flies above us for the first time to explore the terrain before landing. It turns around in the air and starts the landing operation.
He doesn't feel it.
The light aircraft, at the last moment, has decided not to land.
Watch out, it's the helicopter. Quick,
The army is closer than expected.
let's get out of here, quickly.
Está llegando el ejército, está llegando el ejército.
The light aircraft and the men on land flee.
Quick, get in.
Pero nos tenemos que ir, ¿no?
Yes. This damn helicopter won't take. Let us go.
No sé si se ha visto la cámara, pero... Al parecer estaba llegando el ejército. La avioneta no ha podido bajar. Se ha tenido que remontar el vuelo. La gente se ha ido. Ya no sé qué ha pasado. Y nosotros nos vamos porque... Muy jodido.
The traffickers managed to carry out the downloading operation in another area, and they agree to meet us in one of their safe houses. They are prepared to show us part of the merchandise the aircraft bought, and it's not just any kind of merchandise.
That SA Luxury size 38. This is a limited edition of 100 copies, with the image of Benito Juarez. This is top of the range, it S for chefs, only for them.
Modern guns that pay homage to legends of Mexican history.
Entiendo yo que una pistola normal no se molestaría en traerla en un avión, ¿no?
No, weapons like that are for bosses. Look,
Están fabricadas en Estados Unidos.
yes, they are made in America.
Todas fabricadas por la Colt, pero con motivos mexicanos.
Yes, with Mexican motifs, because they know that's what people like here.
Luxury pistols that are transported by plane so that in a matter of hours, they can be wielded by the drug trafficking big bosses.
¿Y el cliente quién es? ¿Siempre narcos, siempre carteles?
We only work with them. They are the strongest. Listen, people are after us, and the military will arrive soon. Their Falcons are not far away, so we're gonna have to make some changes.
The traffickers are going to send the luxury guns to Sinaloa.
Estamos siguiendo a ese coche. Lo estamos acompañando hacia una pista clandestina de aterrizaje. Ellos van a cargar una avioneta ahora, o eso nos han dicho.
A network of informers makes sure the area is free from police and army presence. This time, the landing strategy prepares a discreet, quick operation. Just 2 cars wait on the road for the light aircraft to arrive.
Here it is. He's arriving.
As soon as the aircraft lands, they will give them the parcel so that the aircraft can take off immediately. This time, the operation was successful. The weapons are now being flown on an aircraft that will land in Sinaloa without any stops in the middle. Culiacan, the capital of Sinaloa, and the main operation center of the world's most powerful cartel. From here, capos and hitmen run their empire and fight their three greatest enemies: several internal groups that want to take power, bloodthirsty rival cartels, and the state security forces. And there's only one way to win these fights: with the force of weapons. We received news from one of the most powerful traffickers in Culiacan. They inform us that this same night, an operation to sell weapons to the cartel will take place. They will meet in a place away from the city. The traffickers have informed the cartel members that we want to witness the operation. But before that, the drug traffickers want to make sure we really are who we claim to be. The cartel has many enemies, and they want to make sure we are not a threat.
Are they armed? No. Are they armed or not? No. Open the door.
The cartel gunmen make sure we don't carry any weapons or GPS trackers.
It's clean.
Now the leader of this cartel gang must give his approval to our presence there.
Go ahead.
We have permission.
That's what you asked for. AK-47 submachine guns, 5.1, and everything else. And that one. Let me see. How are you? Give me 5 like that. They are here. They are shorter. They are good. 5. Is that good for you? Yes, that's good. Given. Yes. And other things too. Rocket launchers and grenades. They take them too. We need something substantial. Very tense. Here we go.
The purchase of guns finishes, and arms traffickers and drugs traffickers bring this clandestine meeting to an end. But before going, the members of the Sinaloa Cartel take a message for their supporters from us. We want to get in touch with their organization in order to continue following the arms route. We receive an answer. The cartel will allow us to access what they call an office. One of the operation centers they've scattered around the city, but they won't let us know where it is. So they take us there with hoods on, and we won't be allowed to record a single shot until we're inside. We are received by Condor, the leader of one of the groups into which the cartel is divided.
¿En qué consiste el trabajo de ustedes?
I kill, I collect, I monitor drugs, I patrol. That's our job.
¿Se podría decir que son ustedes el brazo armado del cartel?
Yes, we each have a territory to manage.
¿Y en qué consiste eso de cuidar el área?
I must ensure that our rivals do not set foot here. I need to keep an eye on the drugs. I'm keeping an eye out for thieves, people causing trouble. Who fire shots? I make sure there are no problems in the neighborhood. And anyone who does that, I'll fire them, because it's good for no one. We help people, and as a result, they like us.
Es una forma de ganarse el apoyo de la...
Yes, it's better for everyone.
Entiendo. ¿Cómo es la cosa con esos rateros de los que usted hablaba? ¿Qué hacen con ellos?
What the boss tells us to do.
¿Y qué suele decir el jefe?
Most of the time, they are given to the police. But those who do things that are too serious, what do you want? We don't give them to the cops. That doesn't stop them from doing it again. We execute them, that's better. Yes.
Veo que sus hombres están bastante bien armados. Normalmente, ¿con qué armamento cuentan?
It depends. Some use FALs, others the R-15, the M4, M16. Some of them have grenade launchers. Bazookas. It depends on individual tastes.
¿Y lo que la persona pida se le da?
Yes. It is their working tool. A bricklayer, to do a good job, he needs a good trowel, doesn't he?
Dígame una cosa. ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que tuvieron que utilizar estas armas?
We use our weapons every day. If rivals locate us, they can raid us. If they come in and break down the door, I have to fight back. I take my weapon, and I shoot. It's them or me. In this environment, you risk your life every day. Near 52 to 20, there's an operation that S heading towards 27 to 17, heading to the 17th.
A radio call alerts Condor's group by radio.
Evacuate the premises before they arrive. We have to leave. Cover your head, you mustn't to know where we are. If you can see anything, that's better for everyone. If there's a problem, I'll know it's not you.
Condor's men have received an order. The cartel's informers have detected the presence of the army in the area, and they must go and guard one of the traffickers' most precious assets, a meth lab.
The laboratory is here.
The lab shows the power of the cartel in the area.
We're still working, add a little more.
It's a few miles away from Culiacan, outdoors, and it's hidden only by some bushes.
My guys are covering the entire area. This is all my territory, nobody enters. When the military arrives, we know it.
Cualquiera que venga aquí sin permiso...
Nobody comes here. No one approaches within a 10 kilometers radius.
Here, protected by the cartel's gunmen, the cooks make this drug, which is totally synthetic, and of which the Sinaloa Cartel is the world's leading manufacturer.
We're going to check the temperature. The temperature needs to be controlled. When it reaches 150 degrees Celsius, That S where things start to get interesting. We'll see how many we can make. He's the lab manager, and he's the cook. He is the group leader.
Esta droga es totalmente sintética, no lleva ningún ingrediente natural. No sale con la hoja como la coca.
That's it. Several chemicals are added. We add ammonia, hydrochloric acid. We add all of that together to make it stronger.
¿Cuánto producen aquí?
We need to produce, per month, between 400 and 500 kilos.
Half a ton of meth, just in one of the many labs the cartel has scattered over the region. Half a ton of a drug that on the streets of the USA will be worth more than $40 million.
That masks today's production.
O sea, esta es la droga ya prácticamente terminada.
Yes, that's good. It is in powder form. I don't know how it's consumed.
¿Nunca la ha probado?
Never in my life. When I see what they put in it, not even in my dreams.
Todo a Estados Unidos, ¿no?
Yes, it S, for foreign countries. Yes.
The circle closes. Arms manufactured in the USA are used to guard the production of meth by the Sinaloa Cartel. The drug, in turn, will be brought to the USA, leaving a trail of death behind. According to the Drug Abuse National Institute, last year, meth was involved in the death from overdose of 29 Americans every day. Once his surveillance job in the lab is finished, Condor gets ready to start his next mission, patrolling his area to keep it under control.
Dígame, cuando uno va a patrullar, ¿qué tipo de armamento se suele llevar?
We patrol with Kalashnikovs and automatic weapons. The guys take what they want. It depends on their taste.
¿Para qué se hacen? ¿Para controlar territorio? ¿Para buscar gente? ¿Cuál es el objetivo normalmente?
The purpose of the patrols is to protect our territory or to do what the boss tells us. He sends us to get the drugs, to catch a thief, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's women who come to see me to tell me there's or a thief in the neighborhood. In those cases, I go, or I send someone to photograph it. I show them, is that him? And if it's him, well,
Gestiona.
So, in truth, it's as if we were law enforcement, except we don't have uniforms.
Authorities without uniforms, but with arms that allow the cartel to become police officer, judge, and executioner, all outside the law.
We need help.
Condor is asked to go back to the cartel's operations center.
Good. For your safety and mine, we're going to cover your head. Please put that in. Security question. You never know.
When we arrive, a surprise awaits us. Condor's men have captured a man.
He's a car thief. He had a weapon on him, and he stole cars with them. I'm waiting for someone to tell me what to do with him. We have to do this every day. The guys are afraid of nothing anymore. there are more and more people like him. They don't want to understand. No matter what we do, they don't learn the lesson. They don't give a damn.
Okay.
Please close the door.
Para mí es una cosa muy fuerte.
I know, everyone has their own job. Those who misbehave must be punished. A guy who abuses his power, I'm going to do worse than him.
¿Qué significa ser abusón?
They give him electric shocks, they beat him.
¿Toques? ¿Qué son toques?
With a battery. I place the electrodes on the parts, on my face, wherever I want.
O sea, para ustedes es el día a día, como ustedes. Para
Yes.
nosotros es una cosa.
We do this every day.
¿Qué es lo más probable que le pueda pasar a esta persona?
For him, it seems, it's prison or death. If we send him to prison, we're doing him a favor. But he's gonna die, he knows it.
The law of the jungle. The law of the Sinaloa Cartel. This is the daily life in a hidden but real world. An implacable world nourished by money from drug trafficking and defended with the force of arms. We leave the Sinaloa Cartel and its codes and go back to arms traffickers. A light aircraft with a new shipment is about to arrive.
Cuénteme, ¿y dónde aterriza el avión?
Over there, in front. You'll see. He will land here.
To our surprise, the traffickers are going to use a road as an airstrip.
How long until it arrives?
¿Cómo evitan que venga un coche por la carretera si va a aterrizar el avión?
We have people higher up.
Arriba. ¿Y ustedes cortan la carretera?
Yes, higher up, over there.
¿Se tienen cortada la carretera allí?
Yes, before and after.
Si viene alguien a donde están ustedes cortando la carretera, ¿qué le dicen?
That he cannot pass.
Ya saben de qué se trata, ¿no? No hacen demasiadas preguntas.
None. In 15 minutes.
15 minutos cae el avión.
Yes.
This time, the aircraft will not just bring and download an arms shipment. It will transport something on the return flight.
¿Le puedo preguntar qué son estas bolsas que lleva usted aquí atrás?
These are bags that will be sent back.
¿Le puedo preguntar qué llevan?
Drugs.
Ajá. ¿Esas se las lleva el avión?
Yes. He won. Belong.
Por ahí debería aparecer un avión, una avioneta, y va a aterrizar en la carretera.
These men's mission is to download the arms from the aircraft and upload the drugs as quickly as possible. An aircraft on a road is too striking a sight. Everything must be perfectly synchronized.
He's coming.
Everything goes according to plan. The arms are already in Sinaloa, and the drugs are already flying to the USA. Arms in exchange for drugs, drugs in exchange for arms. Two businesses that reinforce each other and that leave a trail of dead bodies on both sides of the border. But the route of illegal arms trafficking doesn't end in Sinaloa.
Es el tercer homicidio que hemos visto hoy, en un momento, en unas horas.
Cuando uno entra a esto es hasta la muerte.
Las armas van cambiando de países. Esta es una lucha con armas de Norteamérica. Nosotros o compramos esas armas o desaparecemos.